Post while I introduce Tim.
Mm-hmm.
Ready? All right, here we go. And 3, 2, 1, you're live! Welcome to the show. Today, we have a bunch of exciting things going on, like the most premium of exciting things. First of all, we have a special guest. Our special guest is an industry veteran. Lives in a tiny home off the grid. Just got off of a 2-week van trip. And can huck himself off of just about anything. And when you go ride with this guy, this is the person I'm talking about, he will try to hurt you. Hands down. He will try to hurt you.
I've ridden with these kind of people before. It's terrifying.
And without further ado, it's Tim Decasta.
Hi.
Is our guest.
Yay.
Hey,
welcome.
Grazie.
Best guest we've had all summer.
First guest.
It's been great. Great being here.
You know how
I've been a long-time viewer of the show, so I'm very excited to be here.
Glad to have you. You know how sad Curtis is going to be that he's not on yet, and Tim got to be on before him.
Oh well, you got to step up.
I'm not sure who Curtis is, but...
Cootis?
Well,
who is Cootis?
He knows he can show up any Tuesday night and just be on, so that's up to him.
Well, he's not a Grand Junction local. He's not a local to the Western Slope.
It's not.
Neither am I.
You get extra special consideration if you're a Grand Junction boy.
Yeah. So tonight's subject, we're going to be talking about the things people say to bike mechanics.
Yeah.
That is the subject.
I'm very excited about this.
Is Tim a bike mechanic?
Did I say anything about that?
You said, I believe, industry veteran.
Yes, that's industry veteran.
Which is not a bike mechanic necessarily. There are many inside sales reps who would qualify as industry veterans who would never have shared in the experiences that we get to share in tonight.
First of all, we're not having any salespeople on the show. Period.
Oh, sorry. I need to bounce, man.
Whoa. Whoa.
That's my game.
That was a very
hard line. Game.
That's a very hard line.
Hard line.
Uh-huh.
Hard lines. We're, Tim is a mechanic. He works on bikes. He likes to, hit them with wrenches. Ka-king, ka-king. And then they're fixed, and then it goes out. So, how many years have you been working at a bike shop?
I've been working at a bike shop on and off for 10 or 12 years now. It's been a long time.
That's a good number of years.
I don't know if that's considered veteran in the industry.
I definitely, if you're
for my
past,
age,
if you're past 10.
For my age, I feel like I've been in it for a while. I'm in my early 30s technically, and I've seen a lot of things still.
Ooh, Nick's about to leave his late 30s.
Yeah?
Yes.
Oof.
It's an exciting thing.
Yeah.
Can't wait to see that podcast.
Boom. You know what I love?
Where do you work?
I work at Grassroots Cycles in Grand Junction, Colorado. And
What kind of bike shop is Grassroots?
Grassroots is a full-service bike shop. We do everything, including suspension service, full suspension service and such, but we're also in a different world now, doing rentals and demos mostly instead of retail. And so that is a bit of a change for us in our model, so to speak, and how we're doing the bike shop thing, because we used to be mostly retail, focusing on trying to sell bikes, and now we're just trying to...
Yeah, that sucks.
Yeah, it's really hard right now. I don't know if you've tried to sell a bike.
I have not tried to sell a bike.
I know Nick has in the last couple of years.
Tommaso only, the finest of Taiwanese-made Italian bikes.
Wow, you actually say the name on this show.
Yeah.
Are they Taiwanese made?
Yeah, Taiwan.
Everything's
They're made the same factory that Jameis... I know Jameis and a couple other brands.
Good brands.
Yeah.
Yeah, great.
Reputable
Premium.
Perfectly fine.
Premium brands.
Yeah.
So there's this phenomenon that happens where
people go into bike shops,
where people go in.
This has happened.
We call them customers.
It's true.
But at times, I'm also a customer.
Have you been a customer of a bike shop of late?
I have been. And it's funny.
I heard about this.
because now that I don't work in a shop, every once in a while I need to go to a shop.
Yeah.
And I go in, and right at it was just a funny experience because shoe on the other foot. I went in. I'm just like, I need 5 feet of cable housing. I was doing a tune-up on a friend's bike. And first thing the guy said, "Are you sure you want that much? It's really expensive."
How poor did you look?
I was like...
That is exactly what I said.
I don't know how poor I was looking that day, but...
You just had that poor vibe going.
Yeah, I just had that I have no money. Not that I couldn't afford any of it, but I couldn't afford that much.
Right.
Cable housing.
Yeah.
And then he proceeds to tell me that it's $5 a foot for shifter housing.
Let's take a pause. What kind of shifter housing?
Yeah, what brand?
Were we talking?
This is just bottom of the barrel, Jaguar.
Jaguar? It's not even the
Jaguar.
slick stuff?
No, it's nothing special. Just a foot.
Can we talk about how much we usually charge for that?
Yeah. What's fair? What's a good cost
$2 to
for that?
$3.
$2-3 a foot.
And $3 bucks, yeah.
Yeah.
$3 a foot. Which
$3
is
a foot.
which is crazy because
Which
we had
is
to
still
bump it up.
making pretty
I remember
good
back
money.
when it was $2 a foot.
Yeah.
Back in the day.
But yeah, that seems a little steep.
Five's a lot.
Five's a lot.
Especially if you're buying the bulk Jaguar cheap stuff.
Exactly.
And what I wanted to say was, I could do it myself, but I don't have the tools.
I could do it myself, but I don't have a spool of this stuff sitting around.
I know what you're doing right now.
So it was just a funny experience. One, there was an assumption made versus just saying, yeah, we have it.
Yeah.
It's $5 a foot. How many feet do you want? There was just this assumption made that it was expensive for me, which was an interesting.
You guys know how to
shoe
do?
on the
You
other
guys
foot.
want to do some math?
Are we talking? Well, that's meters, man.
So 50 meters.
We're looking at cost on shift housing.
Can we talk
Yeah.
MSRP? Let's talk MSRP too.
Yeah. Well, I'm so bad at math. Okay. You guys got to talk while I figure out math, unless you guys are better at math.
So we're just doing some random math. There's one
what
experience.
is 50 meters?
Is he gonna do it out loud?
He's
Yeah.
doing it out loud. He's getting older. You know.
It's 164 feet. You guys get a live.
164 feet. Now divide that by that. By the MSRP. I'm talking about MSRP.
MSRP.
But the point was, is there was definitely there's definitely this assumption, and I was like, I want 5 feet, and then he was like,
Oh wait, is it? The
Are you
other
sure
way?
you want to do that?
Is it the other way around?
I think it's the other. way.
It's $5 a foot.
Money
and-
divided by length?
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm telling a story here, guys.
Oh my gosh, this is way different than I thought it was gonna be.
Okay. MSRP
Okay, here we go.
for Jaguar Basics derailleur housing.
If you buy in bulk,
If you buy the file box, it's 50 meters, which is 164 feet. Should be at full MSRP, 76 cents per foot.
So what's the upcharge on that? What's our upcharge on that? That's like 5,000%.
it's a lot of
Upcharge?
percent.
So
Which,
that
like,
stuff
okay.
Whoa! Whoa, that was way different than I thought it was gonna be. Holy moly!
So yeah.
Whoa!
at full at
That's just housing.
Yeah.
wow, that
Right.
so
Hold
yeah,
on,
I
did
got
I?
way overcharged. But as soon as
No,
he
no,
said
sorry.
that, I instantly got turned off and was just like, I just don't want to give you any money. Give me 1 foot, it'll get the job done. And I checked out and left.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's tough.
Cost per foot is 24 cents
Yeah.
for the
So,
cheap stuff.
The reason I bring this up is because I have over
Yeah,
the
yeah,
last couple
totally.
years not working in a bike shop. I go into bike shops and I just am amazed at how bad some shops are.
When you say bad, some shops are.
Yeah.
You're talking about that upsale, or about just like
Multiple
the
things.
costs.
Multiple things
What
like
are the various ways a bike shop can be bad to you?
Yeah.
Oh, just grumpy.
Grumpy's good.
Yeah, like
Guilty.
Guilty. We got a grumpster here. Just grumpy, like, just, hey, how's it going? What brings you in? I'm right in the middle of something. I'll be right with you. Like, I don't want somebody to rush over, but I'm going to, like, poke around and just acknowledge I'm a human. I'm in the store. Price, like, is a big thing. Like, I know what stuff costs. And so when you do go into a shop and it's, like, way overpriced, like $5 a foot for cable housing, whereas, like, I would have walked out with 5 feet if it was like $3 a foot. Yeah, great. Yeah. But like that, I think they just price it high. Stuff like that gets priced high at shops, and then it's like a weird thing. I wonder why people go online, because they know they can get 10 feet for $5. We have gone dark.
Please hold.
We lost our lights.
There it is.
We're back.
We're back. Yeah.
Round of
Thank
applause.
you.
Right,
Commercial break.
Commercial break. So, part of this whole story was I empathize being the customer. At the same time, there's certain things that customers do that I think turn bike shop mechanics grumpy. There's certain things that people say.
We are dreadfully symbiotic, and there's no getting around it.
We have all experienced this as bike mechanics.
Yeah.
You have a little bit different situation here because it sounds like your clientele is a little bit.
Yeah, I've trained them well. Yeah. So I've been doing it like this since 2020. But I did it before then. I did it from 2010 to 12. Then I had a retail store, and then until 2019, then we're back to this.
Jason had
are you liking this better?
Oh yeah, this is massively better.
Jason had a full like retail shop right up the hill from Salvagetti. So right in that Highlands neighborhood.
Yeah.
Decent sized store.
Yeah.
Really? One thing I also appreciate, this is a little bit of a side note, but one thing I really appreciated about your store and Salvagetti, the shop I worked at, was it wasn't packed full of stuff.
Is that good or bad?
That's good.
That's good.
Walking into a store.
Did you like being invited in instead of like feeling like you're in a claustrophobic cluster?
Yeah. So that was one thing I just want to say. Good job, Jude. Good job.
What'd you think of my shop?
It's not bad.
Yeah.
It's not your shop.
The shop that I work at.
Yeah. You should buy it though.
But so a shop that's cluttered versus a shop that is uncluttered. What are sort of would you describe as sort of the philosophical like underpinnings of those two different stores? What's up, little one?
I got a little interruption. Little dad hug right there.
Yeah. How come mine doesn't do that?
I think it goes back in the day. It's the car lot syndrome, where it's like people like to see a full lot of inventory. That means the economy's good. Mm-hmm. We're Americans. We got a full lot of cars, and you could just go pick whatever you want. You go out on the lot. You want a red one? You want a green one?
Got them all.
Yeah,
you got
orange.
One in every size, every color,
like
every model, variation, every trim. They call them trims in cars.
Yeah. You have abundance.
Yeah.
I think that's where it comes from. I think it's an old school thing.
It is.
That it's like, dude, carry less is more. Like carry.
Well, that was my whole thought with the way, with what we carried was, maybe it's a little bit of arrogance, but we thought we were doing a service to people by sifting through all of the massive piles of shit that's out there to have what we feel is worthwhile to present to them.
From your brands.
Yeah, and then we didn't really give two shits about bike brands. It was, I guess, more in terms of everything else. Mm-hmm. We had, I guess, didn't care a whole lot about bike brands. We had what we had because it was available to us in terms of what was around. So
cool,
whatever. But then but everything else that clutters a store, there's so much stuff. But we would always run in a situation where people would be like, they would say to us, "Is this all you have?" And that's one of those things that would try to mess. We'd be like, "Well, yeah, this is what we have."
We picked the two best ones.
We try to keep it to like 3, 5, something, a really reasonable amount, rather than just being like...
There's only so much space.
There's only so much space, but a lot of these other stores, other places, you'll go and there will be a wall of this size of blinky lights.
The tires. The tire assortments is insane.
Mountain biking, you only need like 3 different mountain tires
these days. Yeah.
Yeah, but people still come in asking for, oh, I need the 3C Max Terra.
Double down.
Yeah.
It has to be double down. Can't be downhill casing. Can't be Exo Plus.
No.
It has to be double down.
So, is that
If you
the
like
first
writing
thing?
shit.
Is this
all you have? That'll be one of the first ones. Is this all you have?
Annoying.
Like, look at, we're 2,000 square feet of like a few guys who are also fixing bikes at the same time. No, we don't have everything. You can Google bottle cages and get pages and pages. And we have like a rack like this. We have some like basic ones, some kind of cool ones, some colorful ones, and some carbon ones. Pretty simple, right?
Yeah.
Great. I thought it was great. Maybe it's why I'm not in business running bike shops anymore. But
what was your go-to when a customer came to you and said, "Can you get this one?" Would you jump immediately on cue, or whatever your distributor was, and be like, "Oh yeah, we can get that in that color. It'll be a week out though."
if they needed it, if they wanted it, sure.
Would you do that?
Yeah. But I'm not, I mean, whatever. I can get it because there is no way you can have it all. Because some people, they do kind of know, they know what they're after. Many people don't. They're just used to. They're used to I think what it is they want that. They feel like the extensive options is empowering to them. Like it puts them sort of in charge of the decision of what they're buying. Like, oh, here's everything, and then they get to choose. Rather than like, that's why I said maybe it looks like a little bit of arrogance when you only have a few things. Like, well, we went through, because this is what we do. We go through all of the brands that we were available to us for. Lights is a really good example because there's bazillions of them. I'm like, well, these are a few different kinds of lights, front, rear. Different brightnesses, different options. There's only so many you can have.
Yeah.
But that's what we run into. People are like, well, is this all you have? And maybe they'd heard of another brand for some reason. Be like, well, no, but this, then I guess it's the job of salesman. Sell what you have.
Salesman.
So, is this all you have?
Is this all you have?
It's a tough one.
The next thing, grumpy bike mechanics.
I would love to know what like those like super trained salesmen say to that.
Is this
Question,
all you have?
is this all you have?
Well, this is the best.
Is that what they say?
This
is
what
all
Lance,
you need.
This is what Lance.
Yeah.
Like,
oh yeah. This is what
my
Lance
heyday
uses.
in bike shops. So this is the Lance. You need a Livestrong yellow wristband.
I'm also coming from a super mountain bike background here, and almost mountain specific for the last over a decade.
Sure.
So road stuff has been limited.
Yeah.
We do plenty of it, but it's been pretty limited. I feel like it's a slightly different clientele.
It's tough
in
even
some
when you
ways.
start throwing in the commuter crowd because like where my store was, we were heavily mountain in what we chose to do. Commuter by the nature of our location, and road just because
People rode.
it exists in Denver. It's a city.
City
right?
things.
Yeah. So.
But my favorite really is when they say, "No hurry."
Is it a no hurry job? Well, there's a couple. Everyone has a different definition of no hurry.
Yes.
Right.
And bike shops are busy at one time of the year and slow in another time of the year. Because no hurry is a vague description. It is. Some people know hurry is 2 weeks. But most of the time, hurry means
Tomorrow.
Right now.
right now.
Right now. My experience, no hurry is usually followed up by tomorrow is fine.
Tomorrow.
No hurry. Tomorrow is fine.
As I'm like working on 2 different bikes and somebody's yelling at me to check them out.
Right. They just walked in.
It's different when you're
pulling all the customers.
it's different when you're a small shop, I feel like, and there's like you, where there's one guy and you know where you're at, kind of.
Yeah.
And you're like, yes, that is, you know where you're at in the grand scheme of the chaos, and you're like, okay, I'm 3 days out. You can be like, I'm 3 days out.
Sure.
But then it's different when you have a service manager or an intake person who's taking people's bikes in, and the wrench is back there just like, no, and because the guy up front's just like, yeah, we'll have that done tomorrow, and the wrench is like, no, you know?
Right.
And the wrench is like, I have 5 bikes ahead of that and a suspension service. you know.
And it's all come in before the person that's... Yeah. People don't understand that people may have been in the store before they were.
Yeah, there's bikes that have been sitting there for a day or 3.
Yeah.
Now,
no more than 3, though. Not in our lives.
No.
We'd never do this, like, 6 weeks out bullshit.
There are times that you walk in and either a shop is set up for doing quick maintenance. Like our shop, Salvage Eddy that I worked at, we had a quick adjustment station. It wasn't tunes. I take that back immediately.
No such thing as quick tunes.
Anything that was under $40 in labor, like tire changes, we had so many flats on. We were on the Platte River, so many flats. Just so many flats. Just a ton of flats.
Yeah. Which have to be fixed quickly. Like, that's not something you check in for a week.
Yeah, somebody has a flat tire, and sometimes that would be 2 new tires, and that was actually a great sale for the shop. So you throw it on, 2 tires, 2 tubes. If it's a decent road tire.
Pushing those sales, man.
Yeah, dude.
It was fun when I was running a tiny shop, because I was there all by myself, and I could kind of like take initiative, and I'd be like, you know what? I'm going to drop what I'm doing on this bike that's in the stand. I'm going to take care of this old lady. I'm going to make $50 in the next 9 minutes, because I'm
not because she's old, but because it's a fair price for the work that was being done.
I'm doing tubes and tires, and I'm putting slime in there, and I'm swapping them out on our 50-year-old bike, you know, and I'm getting tetanus in my knuckles because there's so much rust on the spokes, you know.
And you're just hoping it's an old Schwinn that doesn't have beads.
Yeah,
like hooks on the rims.
or
so you pump it to 50 PSI.
Or an S26 tire or whatever the tires were.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's a fun one.
You guys know what those are. Or a 27-inch tire where you're just like, no, that was not the ISO I thought it was. And it was great. And I loved being able to take initiative and do that sometimes, you know, and swap stuff around. I've never worked in a big shop with a lot of, you know, just I've always been in a small shop with maximum people, 2, working the whole thing. So it's me tag teaming, selling.
So you've never had the joy of working in a high volume retail store.
I've worked in a high chaos 2 persons in a bike shop going for 8 hours straight.
So you haven't enjoyed the joy of working on the weekends and still trying to finish up the week's worth, and the salespeople rolling back road bikes and saying, "Hey, we're swapping these out to thorn-resistant tubes and tire liners, and putting sealant in all the tubes."
There's 10 of them.
Or cruisers getting tossed back at you that you have to put fenders and racks on immediately while some kid's waiting for it. You have to do this.
No.
You got to get a job at the big city.
No, I have recognized my privilege.
All right, next on the list of things.
So we're done with no hurry.
To bike shop. I think we're done with no hurry.
No hurry.
And the resolve. With the resolve is, what's your schedule look like? Just a simple question.
I feel like it's really good communication. Is what it comes down to.
Communication?
With your customer. And if you're good at that, then things work out.
Yeah. What's your schedule look like? And in shops that are super busy and slammed, generally people say, like, as soon as somebody rolls up with a bike, they go, "We're 2 weeks out." Like, I've worked in shops that are just like, "We're 2 weeks out." Like, that's the first thing.
Yeah.
Because you're so busy.
You don't even
like
say hi.
It's a matter of communication. Don't be dismissive and don't be reactive.
Yeah.
So people say, "Oh, no hurry. Tomorrow's fine." You just simply say, "Well, we're pretty full this week." Because then most people are like, "Oh yeah, next week's fine," because they just have no idea how many people are in the world.
My favorite is because I was in the small shop that
and they're all in front of them.
I got to gesture to the bikes.
Yeah.
So I would gesture to this pile of bikes
upstairs
in this place where we hang all the service bikes, and be like, "So I'm about a week out."
Okay, I have all of this.
And then they would be like, "Oh," and I'd be like, "Can this date work?" And then you kind of go from there.
There's a little science to looking crazy when not personally, not personally. Keep your own like wits together, but having the shop be somewhat disorganized, spikes kind of on top of each other a little bit, not the nice ones, but like, well, we're pretty busy. It's that time of year, and then most people they get it. especially the people who have said no hurry.
No hurry.
Because they're trying to front load being nice, and you can play into that.
Yes.
I
Twist
feel,
that little
like
bit.
These next two are in the same vein of no hurry.
No hurry.
Yes, these things.
Well, I think. Yeah.
What's up next then? What's after no hurry? So no hurry. Don't say no hurry. Just
tell us what's actually going on.
Just say, hey, this is my bike. We've talked about what it needs. Clearly ask when you could have it back, and you'll figure it out.
The next thing on our list is I need a tune-up, but don't go crazy. Like you're just sitting back there ready to just like give them.
Because we've already given them. This is what a basic tune.
French lube.
This is what a basic tune starts at, people. You know, and they're like, don't go crazy. You know,
the don't go crazy tune.
The don't go crazy.
Like.
I've done
what are we pulling out?
What do people mean when they ask that?
Do they not want me to check their tire pressure?
Well, I think they have like a cheaper bike, because in the world of bikes, it could be $89 to $15,000, and so I think most of the time it's like somebody has like a $300 or $400 bike, and they don't want you to go crazy. Okay,
what's the line? What's the line on going crazy though?
Don't go crazy.
Because we go crazy. That's why we do really good work. Is because we go a little crazy.
We go hard.
Exactly. That's why we still do it when we're in our ages that we're at.
30, 29.
Yeah.
Yeah, dog. 29.
Yeah, dog.
Yeah, dog.
How do you say that so much?
Yeah, dog.
Yeah. Don't go crazy. I think.
I want somebody to say, "Let's go crazy." Doom doom.
Yeah, right.
I had a couple.
It's just they're trying to nicely again say, I don't want to spend a bunch of money.
I wish people would just say
they
that.
They want value, and this is we talked about this kind of in one of our other, maybe what's a tune-up or whatever on point. Everybody's playing these little games of back and forth. They want the most work for as little amount of money.
They're just trying to squeeze everything they can out of that tune.
But I'm kind of like, a lot of people don't even want the most work. There's a math equation, and I don't know math, so I don't know how to do it. But it's like they don't want the best work, because then they feel like they're paying too much no matter what it is. Like if they feel like they got
there is an equation somewhere.
I feel like if the work that they got back they felt like was like literally the best ever by the best mechanic in the world. There's a set of people, and it's a lot of them, who feel like that's not what they want, and they're going to be overpaying no matter what because they had X Pro mechanic or whatever work on their bike. So they want below that. They want below the best, but they want it at a cost just above, like, cheap. It is
just above.
It's in there, and that's the game that people are playing. In the bike shops, we went over this. They're trying to squeeze. They're trying to like get as many of those dollars out of you for as few labor hours as possible.
I think part of it though is that people are bad negotiators, especially I think U.S. in the United States of America.
It's because we don't barter here.
We don't barter.
They're unwilling to walk away.
So I think people say some of these things. Yes, you just give them the cold shoulder. You walk away. You say, "I'm not paying that for that tune-up." I go down the street.
Go on down the street. They will probably charge more.
Yeah, but I wish people would just say, "Look, man, I'm broke. What can you do for me?"
But I don't even. That person exists. I feel like the person who actually can't afford very much exists, and they're just like, "Hey, man, I can only afford this much. What can we do?" Right? That person exists, especially in my experience, in like the commuter category of person.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But then there's a whole host of other people that I think fill out a lot of the middle that are just getting regular work done, and they're just trying to be. Some are cheap. They're just trying to make sure that they feel like they get value, and it's all feelings based.
Yeah. Gotta make people feel good.
Let's talk about that. Feelings based.
Yeah.
That's an interesting like psychological thing. I don't want to get too into, but
Please do.
I feel like I do a lot of really I do some ridiculous work for some people, you know, because I'm like every single person that that I bring in, I'm judging them in some way. We're trying to be unbiased, but we're judging them. We're like,
you're reading them.
We're reading them. We're trying to figure out
that's a
what
good
what they can afford, what we can do for them,
right,
and or attain from them,
yeah,
in sales and such and service.
Yeah.
But we're also trying to be like, you know what? I could retain this customer. What could I do to retain this customer better?
Yeah.
And that's why a lot of times, and why I have gone the extra mile, especially on those shit tunes that were just shit tunes. When I was like, I'm gonna line up the levers, you know. I'm gonna readjust, you know. I'm gonna take all the little bits, you know, and like, I'm gonna like actually make this thing like a bike again, you know.
Yeah,
Straighten everything out. If it doesn't take too long, but it took an extra 10 seconds because I was just like, I gotta go grab the Phillips instead of my 3-way, you know,
right?
Because it's a shit bike.
That took you 10 seconds.
You know,
and
yeah, it's
quick draw, dude.
It's trying to figure out, you know, what is worth what. You're doing a cost benefit analysis on like, is this worth it on this bike to retain this customer?
You're doing it on the fly, and this is going to be what one of our other episodes is about, which is what makes a good bike mechanic.
Oh, I'm gonna watch that one.
Which is basic. This is part of it. Is like the ability to read.
It really does.
People, what they're saying, their bike,
what they need,
set expectations,
all that,
and it's not
in the space of a few minutes,
and it's what they
without being a dick.
Yes, and then it's learning that customer sometimes and knowing what they need before they need it.
Yep.
And that's what makes, for me, those repeat customers that I have. So I took over kind of running a bike shop in 2015 and like kind of kept this customer base going for a while. And one of the most satisfying things was keeping those customers in. Mm-hmm. And they knew that when they came in, they knew what they were paying.
Yep.
They knew what they were going to get. And they kept coming back. Every single time.
Yeah, and that's huge, and that you build up kind of after that. I do a similar thing where, especially if they're new or it's kind of early on, you kind of do a little bit of the extra work at the front end, right?
You lose that chain.
They don't quite get the full price at first.
Yes.
You do a little more. I give them a little report that says, "Oh, I did all these things," and then I will have people be like, "Oh, you should charge more," and then I do, because when they start coming back, then they get accustomed to,
and then the work
to
is
what
worth
you
it.
actually offer.
And then the work is worth it because you are good at what.
But that's not worth it for just the dad who's bringing in the family bikes once a year, or once every 2 years. That person, not my customer. So.
Okay, so next, I wanna.
Should we skip that one?
No, I'm gonna go one out of order though.
Don't go crazy though.
Don't go crazy. Don't
go crazy. Hey,
don't go crazy.
We always kicked around offering the half-ass tune.
A half-ass tune. Like that was actually on the list.
No, we didn't. We wanted to. We wanted to put. So for all the people who said don't go crazy, we wanted to have we do offer our half-ass tune.
It's actually on the board.
It's X amount of dollars.
$35.
And we get to do to the bike whatever we feel like we want.
You don't know what you're gonna get though.
Correct.
$35.
Correct. $35. We get to do whatever we want to the bike.
We get 15 minutes.
We're gonna half-ass it however we
get 15 to 20 minutes with your bike. We get to do what we feel is right.
Correct. And that was always going to be called the half-ass tune.
And no returns.
So if I ever run a retail store again, it'll be on the board.
Half-ass. Okay, so the next thing.
What's next? What's the next?
What's next? Is one of my biggest pet peeves.
Hi, how are you?
Yeah.
The fucking
walking
worst.
in the front door.
Just walking in.
The bell dings.
Like, you fucking exist?
How's your day?
And I was just like, well, the crank won't come loose. How are you?
Right.
Biggest pet peeve. One of my biggest is I was gonna buy it online, but I wanted to support a local bike shop.
Oh, that's so kind.
Oh, thank
you for coming in.
I feel like every one of these things is just full of people who are just trying to be nice, and we're just coming back at them with attitude. They want to support.
It's really
they
hard.
want to support a local business.
But I want to tell you.
Yeah, but
I'm supporting.
No. Thank you for telling me.
That I had this other option that I could have saved money, but I'm going to come here and I'm going to tell you. I mean, that's also hand in hand with the person who says, "Will you match online.
Right.
Like, oh, will you match online? No, I can't.
We can't.
We can't match online.
There's no such thing as matching online anymore. That's not a thing.
You don't stay in business.
We can't do it anymore.
Can't do it. Can't do that.
Nope.
Here's the thing. People who go to 7-Eleven, you ever been to a 7-Eleven? You ever buy something?
I have.
I have bought
What
the
do you
most
think the markup?
amazing slushy
Skittles.
there. Slushy. Spicy mango slushy. I'm
Maybe
sorry.
let's take
It
a
was
peek at
so
kids real quick.
good.
Yep.
Okay, sorry, sidebar. Well, it's just 7-Eleven.
Spicy mango.
Spicy
How much
mango
did you pay?
slushy. I paid $2 for it.
How much
it was
did you
this
pay?
big. It was midnight after a metal show. How's my child? Is he okay?
Dead
Smashing Mario Kart.
It was the best slushy I have ever had. I've never had a slushy. So
How much did you pay for that?
I paid $2 for that.
Could
Okay,
you have bought it
$2.
online?
Would you have bought it online? No one goes into 7-Eleven and says, I could have bought it online for less, but I'm here supporting your local establishment.
Why are you here?
Do you know the markups of convenience stores? No one ever complains about that. But they get their little Coca-Cola or their slushie, and they're happy.
The markup on a slushie or a Coke, I knew it at some point a while ago because I knew somebody who did that stuff, and I was like, oh, that is where you make all of your money.
Yeah.
Is in drinks.
Sugar water.
Because it costs nothing. It literally costs
Yeah.
It's like 2 cents, that $2 drink you paid for. It's crazy.
No one complains about when they buy cigarettes or a soda or
Actually, my
some
friends who
ridiculous.
buy cigarettes now do complain about it.
They're like, oh, it's so expensive. It's the taxes. Well, yeah, it's cheaper than going to one of those artisan pipe shops to get your. No.
Right. The problem with I could buy it online, but I want to support local is it's a lie. It's just a lie. They want cheap. They don't give and they want it immediately. They don't really care about. If you cared about supporting local, you wouldn't mention anything. You would pay their price because their price is built into what they need to make money to stay in business.
And most of the time,
So
in general,
don't be a liar.
you're buying something that you're not going to be able to put on your bike anyways.
Sure.
A lot of the times. And I'm like, you can't put this on anyways, man. Just buy it here. We'll put it on, you know?
Right. Yeah.
You'll
get it taken care of.
It's going to be so hard because we can't sell things anymore. But people still can't put their own tires on. And we're still going to put their tires on, you know?
Generally, it's not even like the low-end customer because they'll just go buy like a gel saddle online. And it's not the high-end customer because they just come in and say, hey, it's this like mid-range customer who's like,
That's a good point.
I want it, but I want to get a deal, but I like the bike shop. And they just have to mention that. It's like a Seinfeld episode. Because
See, I have the privilege of having always come up with wealth and having wealth in my life, and so like I've never tried to ask for a deal anywhere. So,
dude,
because I'm rich as fuck.
Trust the Mario.
I think that's all I did was ask for deals as a kid.
I don't mind.
Actually, it was more like, can I sweep the floor?
No, I don't mind bartering, and that's the thing is like be good at bartering.
Yeah, okay, and that was what I also wanted to bring up.
Yeah.
You guys are talking about this. Do you guys barter? Do you guys fudge on numbers? Do you guys ever fudge on numbers when somebody are like, this is what it's like online? Do you guys ever drop prices?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't have a retail store where stuff's like hanging on the wall, priced already. Like, and again, most of my stuff is chains, brake pads, etc. Most people aren't saying, I can get that cheaper online.
Yeah.
Because usually it's like, hey, you need brake pads, I got them, I'll put them in. Okay, great, done. So I'm not selling, kryptonite locks that are on the wall. So, but if somebody, this happens all the time. Somebody, they want a new Grupo, right? Like, oh, I want to move over to electronic shifting, right? And then I'll be like, okay, I'll give them MSRP. Here's what it costs, MSRP, and then they'll be like, oh, I found it online for this. If I can make $100 or $200 or whatever, by matching the price, and it doesn't affect me, fine, I'll do it. I'll take the money. Or if I don't want to order it, don't feel like it, or if it's only a small amount of money, I'll just be like, yeah, go ahead and order it and ship it to me because I'm going to put it on anyway. So
there's a thing that our shop does a little too much, but if it's a big enough part and has a big enough margin, we're just like, we're installing that for free.
Sure.
It's crazy. But like, yeah, we're like, yeah, you're buying that from us.
It's kind of the other way around. Because I'll be like, yeah, I'll match the price and then I'll put it on.
You're paying that price. We'll install it for free. So there's a lot of that we do.
Yeah.
Like when somebody's like,
well, and that's great because like especially if you've already got their bike there
Yeah.
or whatever. Yeah.
I think I have forks. That's one that's like not a crazy job. Like throwing a fork on, you don't have to cut lines or.
If it's a brake install, that's different.
Yeah.
In modern bikes.
But I don't think the bartering thing is the issue. If somebody's kind of direct about it, and doesn't say, will you match online? Because if there's some deal online, if they're trying to blow something out where they're taking a loss on a product online where it's like, that's below cost.
Go get that, bro.
Yeah,
go buy it.
I tell Shimano crates.
It's fine.
I've gotten to the point where I'm like, yeah, go buy. I'm going to go buy that. You know? Sometimes I have bought things that we sold. Sometimes online because
I bought a Kona.
Oh no, my status came from Jensen for $750 last winter.
So. The problem isn't the deals. Take the deals. Get the deals.
Take the deals.
The problem is don't be a liar and don't be a jerk. Yeah. Like just say, hey, I found this for X amount online. The other thing that has to be done, which is kind of a pain, and this is where it gets frustrating, is we have to confirm that the thing that they think they're buying is the right one.
But they're like just flashing us something on their phone.
Yeah.
And we're like, I think that'll
like,
fit,
oh,
but is
sorry.
it boost?
Yeah, it's a super boost crankset. That's not going to do you any fucking good.
Yes. It's a different offset chain ring.
Oh, what do you mean? It's like, well, this is why you buy it from us, because I know this. I do the work. What needs to happen for you to get the right product, like that shit already exists in my brain.
You mean I can't get AI to figure it out for me? If
I
ask Google,
try. I don't know what AI can do.
My favorite is the customer who's like, I got this online. It was a great deal, and it was better than what you could have done. They bring it in. It's the wrong part
of it first.
It's the wrong part, and they bring in the parts on the bikes, and we tell them to bring in the parts on the bikes, and then they bring it in, and I'm like, I'm sorry, this is not the part that works with your bike.
Yep.
And I'm sorry that we couldn't confirm that, but you needed to buy it.
Don't you love, and this is where we get to feel smug, and don't begrudge us the times we get to feel smug. It's fine. We deserve it. It's all we have in life. Yeah. But don't you love it when that customer has made the mistake enough times to where they've given up?
Yes, and they're like
I think about they've realized that it's not as simple as they initially thought. They're like, oh, there's a dozen different standards to this one thing, and you have to know 5 measurements or dimensions to get the right one for my bike. In addition to
back in the day, front derailleurs, dude.
Sure. Yes.
What's the clamp diameter?
Is
it top pull, bottom pull,
top swing, bottom swing?
Is it any
combination of those few. Yeah.
Oh, dude. And that's another thing. With a lot of this is a lot of times there's an assumption that it's easy with bikes because it's a bicycle and it's like, oh, that's pretty simple. Sure. Oh, that's simple. It's just a bike. That's simple. Will you match price online? Will you match it?
Well,
no. Yeah. Well, and here's the thing: is I wouldn't mind if somebody was like, would you, if I bought like these things, would you do 10% off, or a military discount, or whatever? Like,
bargaining is a real thing.
I think people should bargain.
It's fair. But doing it like openly and honestly is great.
There's a different thing.
Everybody loves it.
A difference between, will you match online? Well, what's the deal, first of all?
Right.
I'm not going to just say I'm going to match some crazy deal, because when like Shimano cranksets were getting backdoored out of factories and they were selling them for like way below cost.
What?
Like you get XT cranks for like $150 or something. It was ridiculous. Yeah. And cost was like $180. So it's like, yeah, go buy that. But I could have bought this online. And people say this. People go into bike shops and say, I could have bought this online, but I wanted to support my local bike shop.
Basically, I just think they're liars. I think they're lying to themselves. They just want a cheap price, and they want the thing soon, and they think that they want to believe they're being nice. But honestly, if you actually want to support a local bike shop, unless it's a major thing, a major group part bike, and you have actual like proof that you have the right one at a particular price that you can get it for. If it's not that, then just buy the thing. Like, what are you going to spend extra?
This is what you pay us for.
$15, $20, $30. Like, what is the...
Yeah,
Come
what's
on.
$30 at the end of the day?
This is what you pay us for.
Yeah.
There's a difference in price between warehousing. So if you're an online retailer and you're paying warehousing and warehousing staff versus paying retail floor space, which is twice, 3 times more.
So much more, yeah.
It's insanely more expensive to have a retail store per square foot. I think a lot of people that have never run a retail store don't realize that retail space is a lot more expensive than warehouse space.
Well, because not only do you have the space that you're paying for, which is, easily 4 times the cost, you have to have knowledgeable people who are able to communicate with you, like, as a person.
Measure things.
Staffed in doing that. Like, they have to know that. The warehouse, they don't know. They have to know where it is.
And where it goes.
What SKU is
where
that?
it is and what, like, fucking...
Where it goes next.
pulley it goes on to, whatever. So,
Well, thank God for AI.
right?
Once we have AI.
But that's what makes it more, valuable in the store is, that person, like we said, they're going to know if it's the right one, if it's going to fit.
No.
Or they might know if there's, like, a better variation for you. Because that happens a lot, too. People are like, oh, I found this. I can get this online. Well, actually, you and your bike could probably go with this, and you'd be a lot happier. Now, I know that sounds like bike shop guys being dicks, knowing everything.
Yeah. Enthusiasts.
Giving you their advice. Fucking dudes just trying to mansplain bikes to you all the time. No. That's what you pay for when you go into a bike shop. You get those things.
Guys are the worst.
So just pay the amount. I mean, they are, but we gotta have them. So.
Let's move to the next thing.
So they could buy it online. Could they? They could just put it on themselves, right?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Is that
Have you ever
is that
used
our
the
next
torque
one?
wrench?
Is that our next one? I don't know what our next one is.
Our next one is just a tune-up.
Didn't we do just a tune-up?
No, we did. Don't go crazy.
That was kind of
Don't
under.
go
That was
crazy.
kind of under. Don't go
Yeah.
crazy.
Okay. Just a tune-up. Don't go crazy.
Don't go crazy.
Yeah.
I really appreciate this next
Okay.
one we're gonna.
The
go
next
to.
one
This next one is my
is-
personal favorite.
And this was the thumbnail. Another pet peeve.
Yeah, that's
I
where I thought
could
we
do
were
it
going.
myself.
Yeah, you could do it yourself. You could buy it online. You could do it yourself.
I could do this myself.
Sure.
And the guys especially, this is a dude thing. I could
dude
do
thing.
this myself.
Yep.
So I think there's a little bit of pride, a little bit of ego. I could do this myself, but I don't have the tools or I don't have the time. Those are the two things. I don't have the tools, I don't have the times.
We had a girl do that to us the other day with a
Really?
with a shock rebuild.
Fork?
Shock.
Or rear shock.
With
Okay.
a rear shock rebuild. Which
Now,
I
is it a
have been.
float? Because floats are pretty easy.
I was privy to the situation after the fact, but essentially the customer was. It sounded like the customer came in and was like, "That's going to be way too expensive. I'm going to do it myself." And we
Okay.
said, "This is a basic service on a rear shock, just a can service, nothing crazy."
How much does a can service at your shop?
A can service at my shop is around, I think, $60 to $70 for labor plus parts. Nothing
Not
crazy.
bad.
Nothing crazy.
Yeah.
Not crazy.
Nothing crazy.
Nothing crazy. But you have to take the shock off the
But
bike.
I got to take a shock off a bike. I got to
You gotta
make sure
change
we don't
seals.
explode it. Like, there's a bit of knowledge that comes to it. If it's a complicated shock, if it's an X2 or something where you're like taking cans off of cans, there's some knowledge to be understood.
The
about
Vivid.
that. I don't want to talk about Vivids. the Vivid just came out, and I'm not stoked about it because I worked on a lot of Vivids back in the day.
But it's new.
But
You worked
but
on my Vivid.
did I?
No.
Don't talk about his Vivid.
No, you had a Vivid.
I had a Vivid
on your process.
We thought it was blown out, but it was actually just the valve core was loose.
That's right.
Yep.
Man, it's leaking.
It's leaking.
It's
I'm
just
just
leaking air all the time.
And it wasn't fast. I was just like in the course of a day, it was like getting lower and lower, and I'm like,
the can just won't hold air.
It just won't hold air.
These things suck.
And I ended up getting a valve
core. Was that
core
at Winter
tool.
Park?
No, I was out at your place. We went to the
okay.
skate park, and we were like riding some stuff around Junction. And
Good times. Pre-2020.
Yeah. No, it was after 2020 because it was pre-2020.
It was pre-2020.
Because it was the process. Which that was a deal I got. I love getting a good deal, but I'm not going to go to a store and say, "Hey, I could get this deal online."
Give it to me now.
But I want to
Peace
support
out.
you. I won't do that.
What's the craziest I could do it, I just don't have the tool story you guys have?
Oh, I don't. You're asking way too much of my memory.
Yeah.
It just happens all the time.
It happens.
So much.
It's usually brake bleeds.
Yes.
It's usually brake bleeds
Yes.
or
Brakes or suspension?
brake suspension. I mean, it just happens all the time. Crank stuff, because obviously there's a bazillion crank tools and
Bottom
bracket tools, and some wheel stuff.
I called a plumber this week, and I said, "Hey,
Well, let's go there.
hey, I can do this myself,
But
I don't have the tools."
But all
And
I
you know what
have
he
is
said?
but all I have is a set of Allen wrenches because I'm a bike mechanic.
I'm a bike mechanic. I can true the pipe.
Yeah.
And he said, that'll be $850.
Yeah.
And he was done in 2 hours. And then he left. And I said, "Thank you, sir. My pipe has been fixed."
Great.
Yeah.
As it should go.
And I could have done that.
But I felt a lot better when I said, I could have done it myself.
But what's going on when
What is going on
when people are saying that?
No, they're trying to justify it to themselves. I think the psychological is like, I could do it to myself, and they say it to you.
I think I do it all the time myself, actually.
Yeah.
Because I am a cheapskate.
Yeah.
Really bad. Really, really bad. It's really bad. I do everything myself.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do everything.
I think it's a super strength, and
I do everything.
it's
I do everything but cars.
And I do everything myself. And then when I finally have to take it into the mechanic, I have to call a plumber. I have to call my friend. I have to do this. I'm like, I could have done it myself. I just didn't have the right tool that day. You know?
Exactly.
Are we just guarding our egos? Is that
Yes.
what we're doing?
It's just an ego
100%.
thing. It's totally an ego thing.
It is 100%.
You're
not telling it to the person, you're telling it to yourself. Think about it like that.
Okay.
Yeah. You're like, I could have done it myself, but.
So we just have a whole society of men who are trying to protect their ego at the expense of insulting another person
Yes.
and diminishing another person's skill,
But you don't realize
skill and experience.
Yeah, but you don't realize you're doing it because you're just trying to protect your own ego.
Because everybody's absorbed with themselves.
Yeah. You're like, oh, yeah.
I feel like this is where we need a real therapist in the room.
You guys should have a therapist on here.
We have a couple of viewers
Oh.
who
A
could
couple?
come on.
Yeah.
Well, they're not on. I don't know if they're on tonight.
They're not on tonight.
Okay, but you need to have those on because that'd be hilarious to have a real therapist on bicycle therapy.
I mean,
I would love that.
I therapize myself all the time.
Yeah.
I therapize.
The rabbit's ass.
The rapid size?
Yeah.
The Raposaurus.
The Raposaurus.
You're the Raposaurus Rex.
Bobbing out the top of this esophagus like phosphorus.
If phosphorus is in your esophagus.
So, but let's go back to, I could do it myself,
I could
But
do it myself, Dad.
but I still don't have the tool. Again, they're lying. Not all the time. Maybe less so. I just think
Lying
customers
to
are
themselves.
lying. They're lying
Yeah.
to
Lying to
themselves.
Lying to yourself.
You know, because
I
the
could do
reality is,
I could do it.
okay, that might be kind of true,
Yeah, it totally is.
right? Obviously, people have different levels of mechanical ability,
I could
acumen.
pressure
experience.
regulator in my own piping.
Right. Yeah.
But I don't have a brazing tool or pipe fitting.
And you've never done that before either.
And I've never done it.
I don't know what a regulator is.
So you could figure, like, there's a world where you could learn it and figure it out. But that's the thing. The lie is it's not just that you don't have the tool. And the insult the insult is like the only difference between me and you
is this, man.
is that right
that.
there.
Yeah.
That's the only difference between me and you, not the 22 years you've spent using one of those. Not that exact one. That would be much too old.
This has been used too. You can tell by the wear right here.
Oh, shush.
This is a good wear mark.
It is old. It is ready to be done.
It's a properly used spoke wrench.
But it's a red one. They can last forever. They're for shit.
It'll last forever.
So, yeah, they're lying to themselves. There is more going on than just that they don't have the tool. I have, in my snarkiness, offered to just sell them the tool.
I'll say
before.
Right off the wall.
Be like, oh, well, we have it. I sell you the tool. It's like, oh, and then the whole I don't have the time comes in because I have much business and I have international calls that I have to be on at 7 a.m.
Now we know why you're here. Now we're getting down to the point of why you're here today.
Correct. Why you're here? Why we exist?
Are we here?
Exactly.
Why are we here today? I'm pretty sure I've said that to a customer. So why are we here today?
Yeah.
Literally
so you need this done.
Leaned forward and said, well, why are we here today then?
We can do it for this amount of money in this amount of time.
Kablamo.
Balls in your court, bro.
And then I gotta scurry over to the computer because I gotta put their name into Lightspeed POS.
Yeah, and then sometimes it takes longer to put their name into the computer than it does to actually fix the item.
Sorry, what was your name again? Can you spell the last name?
Yes, it's great.
Phone number, area code.
Last name Musk.
What?
Oh, Elon.
I don't know what this one is. The next one on the list. What is that?
Is there a trick?
Is there a trick? What was that?
Yeah.
It follows the previous one.
Okay.
I don't have
in
the
that
tool.
It's an implication that they don't know how to fix whatever is going on, and they think that whatever it takes is just some trick that they don't know.
The bubble won't leave the airline. The tire won't feed itself.
Right. There's just, is there a trick to it? No. I always say, no, there's just the way it's done.
Yes, and skill.
Yeah.
And experience.
Yeah.
Yes.
But reality is they've probably tried. They've futzed with it somewhat. I mean, like, man, they couldn't figure out how to make it work, or they didn't have the tool. All right. And then they're like, is there just a trick to it? Because I think there's a bit of our society that has let people believe that anything can be solved with a hack.
Oh, hacks.
And most of the time, a hack is just like the way a thing is done.
I like the life hack. Actually, that's the way you should be doing it.
I got this life hack. It's called getting up in the morning, making your bed, having breakfast, going for a walk.
I don't make my bed.
You don't?
Ooh.
I don't.
You don't?
My wife does.
And that's a life hack. Get away from
life hack.
See, my wife hacked that, and I'm the one who makes the bed most
it's the whole tech bro thing of like,
yeah,
tech bro. It's 100% like there's some type of like trick, hack. Hack is the perfect word. The word like, how do you hack your sleep? How do you hack your diet? Well, just don't eat shitty stuff. Go to bed on time.
Yeah,
like
a lot of times, simple. Shifting is a great example that I run into all the time. People are like, they tried to mess with it. Like, there's just like a trick to it. Like, actually, you have your cable routed incorrectly. Because every derailleur has to have the cable run, some correct way. And it's like, it actually needs to be on the right side of this. Or this one happened just this last week. Derailleur, I don't know what the part is called that the B screw butts up against.
And that's a thing that touches the hanger.
And it's got to be, it's got to be notched on the hanger correctly. And if it's pulled off and rotated the other way, the derailleur flops up this way and nothing shifts. It's all awful. Well, this was the situation. Like they had taken the derailleur off to try to
what's the trick?
Mess with it, put it back on such that now it had no B tension. It was curled all the way up here. And they had been messaging me prior, being like, oh, what? I can't figure this out. This, that, and I'm just like, you have to bring it in. They bring it in and put up in the stand. Well, first thing I noticed is derailleur's tucked all the way up against the cassette. It's not actually installed correctly. The trick is, they're like, oh, that's the trick. It's not a trick.
Oh,
it's not like, but it's not like a
Just if you
magic. Like
yeah,
like I didn't go to magic school.
you didn't.
I did. I did.
I mean, people think we do.
I did go to magic school, but it has nothing to do with bicycles. So
People, I swear people think we went to magic school sometimes. When I touch a bicycle sometimes and do the simplest shit.
Like turn the handlebars around after the cable's been wrapped up.
Oh my god! I've only
There's
done
that.
that a handful of times.
Or route the derailleur cable correctly.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which
Well,
I'll
no,
do
like-
in the course of conversation, while we're like talking about the bike. I'll just like fix it, do it, and then they'll be like, oh, and then I'll be done, and then you have to play a game of like trying to make it look like you're doing more work than you have to do.
Because you fixed it without even thinking about it. Because
Right.
you just looked at it, and because you've done it so long,
Yeah.
why you pay us so much? It's because we're just like, yeah, so
Yeah.
I just dropped another bike to talk about you to this. I'm actually talking to another customer
Right.
over here trying to sell them a helmet. I'm over here trying to do this. I'm thinking about how I need to put your name into this so that I can put this. It's already done. So what do you need? Are you paying cash or card today?
So is there a trick?
Is there a trick?
Yes,
the
there's
hack?
a trick. The trick is grind for 10, 20 years.
Yeah, I mean,
Do it a lot.
Do it a
That's
lot.
the trick.
I think a solid 3 years in a shop gets you.
Depends on what shop, but yes.
Yeah, like a good shop, not Dick's Sporting Goods.
And where you're given an opportunity to work really hard and to learn and to do hard things.
Yeah.
Also,
but if you want to go work at a shop for 3 years to learn all the hacks of the bike wizardry, then do that, and you can have a fulfilled life working on your own bike.
Yeah.
Because that's the thing is, I grew up broke, but I also grew up like
Shouldn't have done that.
where I know I'm
what's your
still
problem?
waiting for my inheritance.
what's your problem?
Yeah.
I hope just
Have
a
you
pile
thought
of
of-
money comes from the sky and drops on me. But I grew
Is
up.
that a sewing machine?
I think
Yeah.
the one thing that was instilled was we just found a sewing machine. Do you want to just pull that out real quick, Tim? Does that pop out?
Don't pull it out. That's heavy.
Yeah, pull it out.
It's also-
That's a
listen-
nice sewing machine.
Yeah,
That's
don't
an
listen to
XR
the-
1355 right
yeah,
there.
solid XR. He has
No.
a sewing machine.
I have a sewing machine.
So the funny thing about Jason's garage is there's some random like family stuff mixed in with the bike
Yeah.
shop.
Yeah, because there's
This is the first. Also, for all of you watching, this is the first time me being in here, and this is amazing. I've only seen this in videos, so I'm really excited to be in the studio.
It is
finally.
a 2-car garage.
It is a 2-car garage that's been made into a bike shop, and you
Yeah.
have a lot of. It looks like you do a lot of work in here, actually.
Ton of work.
do a lot of work in here.
Yeah, there's a lot of bikes.
I
in here.
work all day, every day.
I'm looking at 20-something bikes, I think. So.
Yeah, and there's fewer. Last Friday morning, I was telling him, last Friday morning I had 41 bicycles in here.
Holy shit.
Yeah, they needed to get
That's
gone.
awesome.
It was getting out of control.
Yeah. Call those customers. Where are you? Come get your bike.
Yeah, well,
Ride your
it's
bikes.
July, everybody's on vacation. They're like, can I just leave it with you?
Yeah.
Sometimes I'm
I
too
have
nice.
so much storage space.
Yeah.
Dude,
What are we doing?
we're going to go to B-Cam.
Oh, yeah, I forgot. We have
For
B-Cam.
all you concurrent viewers right now, we're going to go to B-Cam, so this is going to get the close-up.
Well, you'll start to see all the family stuff that is in here. Got the dog food. We got a bunch of garden supplies on the
Good
counter
heater in
over
here,
here.
too.
I do have a
Got
good
a
heater.
heater. Got a
Yep.
solid heater.
Yeah.
AC or swamp cooler?
There's a swamp cooler. I do have a little standalone AC unit that I use when it gets humid.
And
That's
we're
the
going to...
trick.
Nice. It's very nice.
Most premium.
We didn't freeze. We're still here.
We're
Yeah.
still here.
We're just wondering what B-Cam's going to be up to.
Oh, here's B-Cam.
Oh, we're testing
you guys
out
are
the
getting, you guys are
B-Cam.
getting
You get to see us
getting-
live.
This is
That is your forehead.
this is the whole garage. We got the entertainment and sofa over here.
This is Reposado.
500
Fridge
whatever
there.
square-
Look at that.
square
Look at
feet.
that
Yeah,
heater.
there you go.
Nice heater. There's bike storage over here. There's the tool wall. There's Tim. Say hi, Tim.
Heater's like your mom.
It
It
heats
puts out-
things. British thermal units.
That's good. That was a good one.
There's more storage. and then more bikes over there.
Mic'd up. They can hear everything we say.
Yeah, everything.
So this is where Jason does the work.
The tricks.
The hacks.
This is where you do the hacks. This is where the magic is.
Yeah.
Mechanic hacks.
Yep.
Along that same vein, I have a few customers. I don't know if you're watching. I saw one of these customers driving to Newcastle today while I was driving over here to Denver.
Sounds creepy.
I kind of just like followed him and flipped him off.
And if you know where Newcastle, Colorado is,
he's actually a great guy. And he is one of my favorite customers because he all the time brings in his bike and is like, I drank a 6-pack in my garage and this happened. And I'm like, here's my bike. And I'm like, what did you do, my friend? And it's amazing.
And it's probably one of those situations where of the like neighborhood dads, he's the one who knows the most about bikes.
He's great.
Yeah. But it's still woefully inadequate.
It's so fun because I'm just like, dude, you just turned your B tension all the way out, you know?
Yeah, all the way. It's like it looked like it was in too tight.
And it's just great, and it's really fun, and I enjoy the customers that are the other side of. Yeah. Is there magic to it? Is there a trick to it? Because they're like, I know there's a trick to it because they actually know that it's hard, and they bring in the bike and like, I fucked it up. I'm sorry, and they know, and I have to fix it, and they're great customers, and that's why they come back, and that's why we love them. But yeah,
they keep the lights on, the doors open, and give you that little sense of validity that we all deserve sometimes in life.
Little sense of validity. Being a bike mechanic is hard.
It's hard.
One thing
it's got its I mean, you're often faced with some shit customers, and not shit, and yes, that happens, but it's easy to feel offended sometimes.
Have you ever been screamed at?
Yes, I've been told I'm a liar.
Yes. Ooh. When you tell a bike mechanic you're a liar, or you tell, your bike mechanic that he's a liar, like, what? Like, because this has happened before, and generally it's like a situation where the person has other things going on, they're stressed out, and then, it gets taken out on you. That's been a couple times I've gotten screamed at. Had nothing to do with me.
Sure, yeah.
I was like 16, working at my first bike shop job, and we stored all of our Christmas bikes off location, so we had to move them back and forth.
Did you say Christmas bikes?
Christmas bikes, yep, because we sold kids' bikes at Christmas time.
Okay.
Oh, so it's just not like green and red bikes?
Yeah. Sorry, just wanted to make sure what we were talking about.
Greenandredbikes.com was where I worked. ChristmasBikes.com.
ChristmasBikes.com.
Just green and red, dude. And it was just like the lady gave me her name, and I had to go check the list where we keep them. And then I came back and said, hey, sorry, what was the name again? And I have the list, and she just like goes off. You've lost the bike. Like, what the hell? And she's screaming at me. And I'm just like, ma'am, I just need your name. I went to get the list, to check the list, and she was like, I can't believe this. I can't believe you lost, and screaming, lost this bike. This is my kid's bike. This is going to ruin Christmas. And I was like, ma'am, what was your name again? Like, I literally just repeated, like, what was your name again? And then she asked to talk to the manager. And then the manager got on the phone, and he said, ma'am, what's your name?
We just need your name, and this is
like just mom just losing her mind.
Yeah. That mom had other things happening.
That mom had a
lot going on.
Yeah.
So it's like I've had that same thing.
At what point should you have just been like, come here, come on,
bring it in time, dude? During COVID, same thing. A dad came in to get a bike for his kid. I picked up a job during COVID, and same thing. Dad we asked him not to go into the back of the store. There was this whole confusion, and then he was like, you don't have the bike? And he was like, no, we just don't want you to go into the back where the mechanics are because they're working on stuff. And just lost it. Just was like, I'm taking the bike I paid for. And it was like, dude, it was a whole thing. But don't yell at your bike mechanic. Just
I don't even remember the scenario of when I got called a liar, but I
feel like Scott got called a liar at Salvage Yeti.
You,
sir, are a liar.
Yeah. I don't get like heated too easily with people. It was one of the few times it got pretty heated, and I was working in another shop at the time, so I was just a bike mechanic in the shop, and it was one of those situations where the owner just totally took the side of the not like just to like make everything as easy as possible, you know, and it was so incredibly insulting because like she called me a liar, and I remember explaining the whole situation, and it was just, I was like, I yelled back at her and said, I'm not a liar. I'm not a liar. Like,
you should be able to say I'm not a liar if you feel like you're not a liar.
And I mean, honesty is a bit of a thing I value highly, and that was a tough one, but I haven't had a whole lot of other situations.
The customer's not always right. Like, that's one thing that I feel like comes across,
well,
especially...
I think the general topic of tonight is...
That's the dance we dance.
Yeah. And you don't want to be a jerk.
In our world, it's very infrequent, in my opinion, that the customer is right.
There's times, though, when the customer...
Does not mean they're not worthy of respect.
No.
Yeah.
And
yes, exactly.
Consideration and value and being heard, but like that doesn't make you right.
Yeah. Well, and especially if it's something that's going to get somebody hurt. Like, you guys say, no, don't do that. Like, I mean, how many times have you seen a crumpled front end or a cracked fork, and you're like, oh, it's fine, just do the tune-up anyways.
Yeah, the aluminum foil stuffed underneath the handlebar stem clamp.
Yeah. Don't worry, it's stiction. It'll hold it in place.
Yeah, right.
So there's times that you run into that where it's like, I mean, Denver cruiser rides. The amount of bent forks from drunk people running into walls.
Smashing curbs and walls.
Just smashing curbs and then asking you to work on the bike. But if the front of that bike crumples after I work on it, then I have a part of that responsibility as a mechanic.
Right.
And I have to say, no, I can't work on it. Or we would have somebody sign a waiver that says, I don't hold you responsible if I lose my face.
Right. Which I've heard only holds up so much.
Yeah. There's a lot of those bikes when they come in, as soon as that crack is found, as soon as that failure is found.
You just say,
we're sorry about this.
I'm done.
The magician has done his trick.
I advise you cease riding. That's why anytime there's a recall or semi-recall from any major company, it's always they issue a stop ride for that reason, right? Cease ride, whatever it is.
Cease.
Yeah. Stop riding immediately, because this was the SRAM bolts that had too much shifter clamps that had too much Loctite on them this last summer or last year.
Were they breaking handlebars?
No. So SRAM aftermarket, like Red and Force brake levers, they put way too much Loctite on the clamp.
The clamp
bolts.
bolts?
False torque reading?
So the torque readings would be false. So you torque them down and they wouldn't be tight enough.
Oh, it wouldn't be tight enough.
Yeah, so they would end up being loose on people.
And you'd put pressure on them and you'd...
Yeah, or whatever. Yeah, any of those things.
Hey, what about training wheels from REI?
Seen today on Bicycle Retailer. 75,000 bikes recalled.
Recalled. For faulty training wheels.
Wow.
First of all, get your kid on a Strider.
Yeah, Strider's
no excuse.
Superior. It's clinically proven.
They have all sizes.
In the clinic of Bike World.
In the clinic. The magician bike hack. Bike hack for your kids. Learn how to get them a Strider. Yep.
They're going to have more fun, too. They're not going to hit their pedals on the shins.
Right.
Yeah. I think that's going to wrap it up. Any final words?
That was this is a really cool podcast. I think everybody should be watching this.
Everybody should be watching it. So we're not going to talk about the new Specialized with the shock with Chambers of Secrets.
Wait, we're not going to talk about the new S1000 transmission rear derailleur that OEM
that only comes on
only
new bikes.
OE.
Yeah,
only OE. We don't even know prices of what it's going to be. Is it SX level? Is it NX level? What is it? It has a battery.
Who cares?
They just want to
There's
train.
bike news, and you can read about it. But yeah, did you see the Specialized?
No.
I got a new stump jumper.
Dual chamber Fox.
The shock is pregnant.
Why?
The chambers are birthing more chambers.
Is it exclusive to Fox? Or is it exclusive Fox with Specialized?
As far as right now, yeah.
What is
No!
Pull it up. Pull a picture up.
No!
All right. Pull a picture up.
No. Are we going to look at it?
Impregnated shock.
We're going to look at it.
And then we have to
go.
go.
Top of the page at Pink Bike. It's actually the first thing at Pink Bike.
Well, it probably should be. I forget about Pink Bike. Oh, there it is.
There it is.
First ride impression.
Yep, this is...
The
I
Specialized stump jumper has a new dual chamber air shock.
Are we cutting to the screens?
Nobody's ever tried that
Oh,
before.
what is that?
Look, see? It looks like it's going to pop.
Let's see. There it is.
Can we talk about the
zoom
seal
in?
kits for this?
Can we zoom in?
Hey, do we have a new seal kit for this?
I mean,
Is there a new seal?
the initial
the
seal
same.
kit's probably going to be the same. You just got to...
What are these?
Add in
It's a
What is
football.
another 30 O-rings for that other section.
What is it? A sleeve on top of... Is it
It's
a
a
sleeve on top of a
football.
sleeve? Is it...
Oh,
look at this guy.
What does it do?
Just give me a close-up on the fucking thing.
There's kind of a close-up.
Curves.
Oh,
Look at those curves.
Is this the 15? Is that what this is called?
I like a good
Yeah,
graph.
Stump Jumper 15.
Why is it called the 15? Is it the 15th version of the Stump Jumper?
Probably.
Oh my gosh, that makes me feel old, ladies and gentlemen. Because I remember the 15th.
It's called Genie.
Ah.
Oh my god.
Wait, hold on.
What would you describe this as bulbous?
No.
This is bulbous.
This is bulbous.
This is what this is. Oh, there's your things.
Are people watching this? Okay,
Chamber,
look.
chamber.
Oh, hooray. We have an inner and outer.
Remember
How is
when
this different from Evol?
Remember when? Yeah.
How is this different from Evol?
Or when Trek put the squishy bush
through
on
shaft?
top? Yeah.
The through shaft? Okay, so how is this different from Fox Evol from 10 years ago?
I'm
How?
sure you could read and find out, but it wouldn't like.
What is the Genie Band? Genie Band.
Genie Band?
Genie Airports.
Genie.
So
Cut
many-
back to me,
so
cut
much
back to me, cut back to
Genie-
me.
So much Genie is happening. Ooh, Genie install.
Look at that mustache.
Genie Airports. Oh no!
Look, you can just.
Oh,
you can
no.
just
Look at all those bands.
Well, here's the thing.
Oh, that's-
you could take all
that's
the
volume
extra
spacers.
air volume and
Yep.
pack a bunch
Guess
of volume
what?
spacers.
Guess what?
into
Those
it.
that can. You could just make it like it's not there.
Just fill it up
Just
with a bunch of
fill
spacers.
it full of spacers. Cut back to.
Let's cut back.
Sorry, we're cutting back.
Let's cut back.
These are the spacers we're talking
Yeah.
about.
What?
Look at that.
Yeah, you could just fill the extra air can up with spacers and then it's not even there.
Sorry, I'm blowing out.
Oh, and then it's not even there. And what does this do? What
I
is
don't
this
know. I didn't read about.
Nobody cares.
I was working today and not
oh
just.
God, what is this?
This is the other hilarious.
Is this the heavily modified new enduro frame? That isn't
This
an
is the
enduro
new
frame.
specialized. This is new stump jumper frame. But
No,
it's
that's the new enduro frame.
It's
that's
a frame mule. It's a
Oh,
frame
okay,
mule
okay,
used to
that's a
test
mule.
the stock. Oh yeah, heavily modified enduro.
That's
You're
an
right.
enduro frame, but this is the Stumpy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
What's the football do?
What's
There's
the
a football on that shock. What is it?
Curtis Cole is asking us where his invite is. His invite has been open since day one. All he has to do is fucking
who's
show
this
up
guy?
on Tuesday night.
Who's this guy?
It's like being a parent. Just show up.
I
dude.
live 300 miles from here. What's your excuse?
Just show up.
Yeah, we got a
So-
special guest.
But then you can buy one with a
With an
Olin's
Olin's?
coil.
And that's a standard, really
What?
good shock.
Yeah, this is fine, but yeah.
Oh God. Well, wait a minute. What was that? The Olin's is. Oh God. Oh, the Pro is $9,000.
Yeah, dude, just mountain bikes are like
That's
$9,000, dude.
EXO. $9,000 for EXO.
Wow.
SRAM Schmelvin silver.
Ugh. Is there an aluminum version?
The
Is
thing
this
is,
the latest and greatest?
the rest of the suspension is all
It's
the
old.
same.
It's the same. It's the same
thing.
design.
We just added more chambering. Like I said, they got the Chamber of Secrets on that
Chamber of Secrets.
on the shock.
And that concludes your news from the bike industry. We don't
That
care.
is it.
Bike
I think that was
mechanics
the big one.
unite in being like, why make it more complicated?
It's bulbous.
Because you got to sell.
What's new for 2020? What year is it? 25?
25. This will be
Oh,
25.
okay. 13 speed and bulbous complicated shocks.
Yeah. Is your shock got bulbousness?
What else is new? Is there
What
anything
else?
else new?
I don't. Not really.
I think that's about it.
Some people keep sending me an Instagram reel of a company selling a new hub where they moved the ratchet and the drive ring to the non-drive side, so it's got basically a pipe. So it's underneath the disc rotor on the non-drive side, and then there's a pipe that goes through to the other side, so that
Why?
for reasons.
Why?
I don't know.
Why wouldn't
First
you
of
want
all,
it?
Because it's different.
Why wouldn't you want it driving directly to the hub?
To the
close
on the drive side.
On the drive side.
Why?
I don't know.
I feel like we need.
Don't worry, we won't ever have to see it.
Yeah.
Because every other company will be like, oh, well, we don't need that. I mean, even if you could prove that provided any incremental benefit, there's no reason for it.
Not all innovations are
Actually,
necessary.
Innovations.
False innovation.
False innovation.
False innovation.
False innovation.
False innovation.
Yeah. That's the only stuff I've
Hey,
seen.
thank you guys for having me on here, guys.
Thanks for being on.
Yeah.
Hey, cheers.
Yeah,
We'd
it's
love to
good-
have
it's
Curtis
good.
Cole on if he'd ever show
I
his
don't
face
know who
up
this
around
guy
here.
is, but he should probably show up. I don't know how I got on here.
Does he know where you live? Maybe that's the problem.
He knows exactly where I live.
Oh,
He's been-
does he use Apple Maps versus Google Maps that actually works? Is that the problem?
I don't know.
Okay. Oh, if he gets a Tesla, it'll drive him here.
That's true.
Yeah, just drive on over, dude. Just got to buy a Tesla.
Well, I think the reason is, and it's a perfectly good reason, is he spends his Tuesday nights watching the show with his girlfriend, which is the best thing you could be doing.
That is actually
Are
really
you
good.
watching right now, Curtis?
Nobody's been in the chat at all tonight.
We have had the slowest chat.
ever.
Yeah, it's because I'm not on the chat.
Oh, that's it. Okay, usually
No,
you're on the other side.
We don't have any of the usuals are
No
not here.
usuals.
No
Everyone missed
JP,
the
no
show.
Cameron, no.
No?
I'll be on the
Curtis,
chat
That's
next
because
week.
we missed last week's show
Ah, yes.
because we're parents and dads and husbands and wives all at one. We are
All
the
at
ultimate
once.
being. And there's some
Sure.
hacks that we want to share with you about that.
Oh, are you
Bike
guys gonna
mechanic
do? Are
hacks?
you guys gonna do bike mechanic family hacks?
Relationship hacks.
Oh God, I need that.
Or, well, back in the day, being a hack meant you weren't good at something. Now it's like, you're a hacker. You can hack
You've hacked it.
the main
Curtis says he just got back from a ride.
Bullshit. It's 9 o'clock. Where are you riding?
Kevin
in
Dixon
this?
says Curtis has a G friend.
Yeah.
Question mark?
Question mark?
Question mark. Oh, there. It's
Yes.
Hey, Kevin, coming out of the weeds just with the proper question at the right time. By all reports, I have not met this person.
Let's have her on the show.
Get him on the
Let's
show.
bring it on.
Prove it.
Let's
Prove
have
it.
Ben on the show.
Got to prove it.
Yeah.
Tonight's and next week's show. Does Curtis Cole have a girlfriend? Prove it.
Prove it. Prove it, bro. And
Prove it to
then
everybody.
What's next week's topic?
relationship hacks.
Relationship hacks? Bike mechanic relationship hacks.
Do this hack.
I like how you think we have it planned a week ahead of time. That's
that's awesome.
Sorry.
It's called being professional.
I was
saw us-
calling him today. I
You
was like,
saw
where's my
us
show notes?
You were here 4 minutes to airing when we were like, "What are we doing?"
Don't tell anyone.
Don't do it.
That's great.
All right, unless you have any questions for one of us or our special guest Tim from the Grand Junction, which we're gonna have him call in.
I'm going to call in.
We're calling in.
If I'm not messaging the group chat, I'm calling in. Just learn
Calling
how
in.
group
Gotta
chats
figure
work.
it out.
We're gonna do live call-ins.
I'm excited about that.
I'm
I'm going to come in with some weird questions, too.
totally get weird with it.
We're good.
Well-
Thanks, everybody. Have a good night. Happy 4th. Happy America.
Yeah, happy America. Yay,
If
America.
you're into that.
Yeah, if you do those kind of things.
I'm Nick, signing out.
Bye.